Welcome back to the channel. We are here in Dover Harbour, as you can see, 2019 Regatta. We were here 3 years ago. I've got my crew behind me, probably pulling faces. Nice family event here. There's quite a lot of people this time, more than last time I was here. I'm just going to show you a little bit behind the scenes. We'll do some conclusions at the end. But yeah, enjoy. This time lapse has worked now. If it has, you will see it in the video. If not, we're not going to bother. I'm happy with that. Let's have a look. That's a bit. Yeah, we've got a lot of feet.
Oh, hang on, look.
That's nice. I like. Yeah, the leading
Good.
lines. It's
Well.
cool. We'll use that. Yeah, it'll definitely be in the video.
There's a lot of YouTubers in it, and it seems to be the trend where everybody is using a quote from a famous person saying it over the video.
Just Google it.
Yeah, well, I've done that, but the point is like, right, for instance, all the videos that we produce, we have a music subscription, which we're licensed to put the music on.
Yes.
Is there a licensing company
for quotations?
For quotations?
No, I don't think so. You can
say the quote.
Yeah, but do you then need to? How do you copyright it?
People have the right to copyright a slogan. Like Paris Hilton's got "That's hot" and something like that. But if you want to quote Einstein and you just say something that
not me saying it. For instance, if I wanted JFK to talk over my video.
If you want his voice. No, because that's recorded by CBS or that's recorded by whichever broadcast company had that footage. So someone owns that footage.
Yes.
So you could have the text written down, but you can't have his voice.
Yeah, how do people do it though? This is what I don't know. There's a lot more and more people are doing it. This is going to be the worst conversation for your video.
Okay, so since we finished filming, I've been doing a little research for fun, and I've got 5 main factors that come into play when we're determining whether or not a copyright has been breached or not. So I'm definitely not an expert in this field, but let's tell you what my research has found. So the first one is whether or not what we are creating is for profit or not. So if it is for profit, then we are on shakier grounds, and the chances are that there will be a copyright breach. If we are producing something for free, for entertainment, we are on safer grounds. So again, that's a little bit of a murky area when it comes to YouTube videos. My tiny YouTube video, for example, doesn't make any money. So does that mean I can take all the content that I want and use it for my purposes? No, it doesn't mean that. But certainly it's a safer area than if I was producing content for a client who's given me a budget, and therefore money has been exchanged to create this new material. So the second point to consider is whether what we are taking is fact or fiction. So it's much safer to take facts than it is fiction. So if you take facts, it's more like, the whole of education is based on taking facts from peer-reviewed documentation from scientists and teachers and whoever has got the information, historians for example, and when they are producing new content, they're clearly leaning on content that has come before. So we're building a body of knowledge, and to build that body of knowledge we have to refer back to content from what's come before. So that's a much safer area. You're much less likely to be deemed as breaching copyright if you do that kind of quotation, that kind of lending from other work. It's less safe to copy fiction, something that has been created in that way. If we take from that, then we are much more likely to be deemed to have breached copyright if we take something like that. The third factor to consider with copyright is the amount or the substantiality of what we're taking. So if we take a whole book, we read that whole book, and we take one of our favourite line, our favourite sentence, our favourite phrase, and put that into our content, then we're in a much safer territory than, say, if we take 10 pages, 20 pages, a whole chapter from a book. Clearly that's a substantial amount. The higher proportion of the amount it is that we take, the more likely we would be deemed to have breached copyright if we do that. The fourth factor to consider is what happens to the market once we've taken what we've taken. So if we create a music track which sounds very much like another track which also is in the market, and then I'm a casual listener and I go to a record store, that's a bit old-fashioned, I know, and I pick, oh, that sounds a little bit like this. If the second track has borrowed or taken from the first track, and then the result is a casual listener will pick the second over the first, then we might have taken the sale from that first track in the first place. So in such a case, if we are affecting the sales from the original content creator, then we are probably deemed to have breached their copyright. The fifth one is whether what we have done has any transformative value. If we've taken a hook, a line, a few bars of music and created something totally new, totally original, not totally original, but original enough to be deemed to be a new piece of art, then we are much safer to suggest that we haven't breached the copyright. If we take it hook, line and sinker into a new context without putting any transformation on it, any artistic flair on it, then we are more likely to have breached the copyright if we do that. That's my quick, in a nutshell, Cliff Notes version of what I understand copyright breaches are. Back to the video.
So let me re-ask the question.
Yeah, go on.
All right, so how do people... Let me start again. Take two. Right. YouTube is trending in a minute in terms of people are using quotes that are recorded by famous people over their videos. How are people finding and getting copyright for those quotes?
Well, if they're only on for a few seconds, then the YouTube algorithm won't knock you out. So it's not as sophisticated as if I play a minute of music, YouTube will know what that music is and then it'll be kicked off.
But then who owns the copyright
For the broadcasting company who broadcasted that famous person's quote. So if I've got a JFK speech or whatever, then that was initially on TV, wasn't it?
Yes.
That's where it comes from.
Right, okay. So there's no licensing company out there in a minute that produces quotes, pre-recorded quotes that you could overlay, similar to a music subscription service. I mean, for all the videos that we currently produce, we have a license that gives us copyright to use those videos, the music in our videos.
In answer to David's question, I really couldn't find a site which licenses quotes in the way he is suggesting. There's a multitude of sites which have quotes from, scientific quotes, romantic quotes, funny quotes, intelligent quotes. There's a plethora of quoting resources out there, but there isn't really a mechanism, which is what he's described in the video, for licensing a specific quote for specific purposes. If I'm wrong, comment below.
Don't try this at home, kids.
I'm putting a gimbal on the tripod.
Hey, we need the height. And it's balanced, I don't want to...
How did you find filming today, David?
It was good, it's hot work again. It's hot again.
Cool. I was actually looking at the video we did 3 years ago recently, and one of the things you said as a conclusion was you wish you packed lighter. What did you do this time that was different?
So this year I solely relied on one camera, one lens and one stabiliser. So that was the Ronin S, the 80D and then the 16-35, and obviously the drone to get the aerial shots. The Ronin was heavy. It's a lot lighter than the M that we used to use, but no, it was good. I definitely used that setup again. A bit more range on the lens probably would have been nice, but no, it was good. You could go up in people's faces, they didn't really care. No, it was good.
That's with the Ronin for all day of shooting.
Yeah, no, to be fair, the Ronin, I was pleasantly surprised actually. Okay, yes, it was heavy, but I mean, you just lock it into you can support yourself. And maybe I brought the handles with me, but decided not to use them, but maybe that would help a little bit more.
today we're actually working for Cloud Cam, so this is David's company. So David's is approved to fly drones here, so it's not something that you can just pick up and go straight away. So David's going to tell us a little bit more, hopefully, about what that involves and how it first started. Tell us a bit more.
So I have been, so Cloud Cam started 3 years ago.
Yep.
I work at the port daily, and we saw the need for the drones. So we became fully registered with the CAA. We've got all the commercial insurances, and I mean we deal with the port. I mean I fly probably nearly 3 to 4 times a week. Because of that, we obviously know the ins and outs of what the port require, how we operate, how they like us to operate. So to fly on a day like today, obviously with a lot of people about, there's a lot of set criteria we have to follow. We have to carry out the flight plans, the risk assessments, notify the relevant people, and have that all that paperwork in place before we can fly. So obviously today we've done that. However, even with doing all that, problems still occur. I mean, like today, for instance, Jason was flying. We've notified everyone as we're meant to do, and then there was an off-duty police officer that happened to see the drone. They followed it back. They couldn't see the pilot. They obviously saw Jason flying it because obviously we were a little way away. So they followed the drone back, landed the drone, came up to him and said, "Excuse me, what are you doing?" I said, "Well." So we obviously explained to them that we're allowed to fly. They made a few phone calls. We made a few phone calls to people which we obviously deal with. It wasn't a problem. They were like, "Oh, thank you, look, we obviously have to report." And I said, "No, not a problem at all." And then they moved on, and everyone was happy. Being the port, it's busy. I mean, it's a terrorist hotspot. We get a lot of unauthorised drone flights.
Really?
Yeah, a lot. So I mean, we've got a good working relationship with the police, and then we obviously notify them all the time, and they'll ask us if it's us that's flying. So yeah, that works out well.
I remember 3 years ago we did the RLNI, didn't we? Remember?
Yes.
And they had a helicopter coming.
Yes,
in. I thought that could be really scary.
So funnily enough, today I had to speak with Port Control, who authorised all of the boat operations, and I had to doubly check to make sure there was no helicopters or anything out of the ordinary that we A, couldn't fly over, or B, that was going to be a potential obstacle in the air. So I mean, when we were flying, we had segregated areas which we were taken off and landed from. There was one incident this morning where a child did try to run into our landing area as I was coming in, but luckily one of the observers stopped him, so that was all good. It's just making sure that all the procedures are in place. And, I mean, things go wrong, and we have protocols to stop that, and it works out well. So.
But in terms of actually physically flying in a port, which is open air, lots of wind, is it easy to do? Or
I mean,
how do the drones react?
Every time you fly is different. It's a bit of a weird microclimate around the port specifically. I mean, it's within a valley itself. You get prevailing winds coming from both directions. It can be raining within 30 seconds. The mist can roll in. You've got to really be hot on the weather, the surrounding conditions. The Coast Guard fly over. The number of times I've had to land not emergency land, but bring it in quickly just to make sure that we're not in the air as Coast Guard's flying over. It's a challenge, but again, as long as you've got all the paperwork in place, you've got your procedures in place, and you know what you're doing, and you stay calm, everything works out fine.
Okay, so thanks David for helping me with this video again. I appreciate you helping with this project. I hope I can return the favour sometime. While you're here, maybe I can do you a little favour. If you want to plug who Cloud Cam is and maybe your YouTube channel, go for it.
Well, first of all, thanks for your help today. Obviously, couldn't have done what we've been doing without your help.
No worries.
So Cloud Cam's fairly small. Obviously, we've only been going for about 3 years, and we're only now really pushing our YouTube channel. It's fun construction drone videos at the minute. We're hoping to push slightly different content over the next few months. We've been flying here, there and everywhere. I've got footage from Bali out in Asia.
Yeah,
Bali is in Asia, just going to double check that. We've got stuff from Amsterdam, we've got content from Iceland, that's coming up.
You're flying a drone over Amsterdam, were you?
Not in Amsterdam directly, we were slightly outside of Amsterdam. We actually went to the European Drone Expo, and on the way we decided to stop as many times as we could. That was a fun 24-hour drive through.
Where are you going next with the Cloud Cam?
Next coming up is Iceland, and that's February. Which is probably gone by the time this video gets out, knowing you, but hey ho. So no, it'll be good. We're looking forward to it, and bigger and better things are coming up for us. So yeah, keep stay tuned, and I'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe to us.
Go on, subscribe. Really appreciate everyone. Okay, thank you for today. And
thank you.
We'll do some more footage in the future. Thanks for checking out this video. It's been a good fun day. Thanks for inviting me along to this, and if you want to see more of these videos, good luck, because they were a pain to do. But yeah, like and subscribe, and see you next time.
Like and subscribe.
I'm not going to say like and subscribe.